All right, so I'm going to show you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I'm not interested in going fast. I just wanted to learn how to solve a cube. So this method is going to help you solve it in, I don't know, a few minutes. We need to know a couple of things. First off, we're going to orient. We call this the white side because the center piece is white. We call this the blue side because the center piece is blue, yellow, orange, and red. And then we've got some moves. So what are the moves? So you might have, if I'm orienting the blue to be looking at me, this top is we call that U for upper. And so a move, when you're looking at it, a move clockwise is called U, and then a move counterclockwise is U prime. Still looking at that blue as our orientation, this orange side is R. So this is R. So a rotate to the clockwise is R, and then a rotate counterclockwise is R prime. Similarly, still kind of orienting the blue to the front. If we look at that left side, a clockwise is an L, and then a counterclockwise is L prime. And then the last little, no, two more, I guess. Looking at the blue, clockwise rotation is F for front. And then counterclockwise is F prime. And then the last one is the B for bottom. So the bottom back here is kind of, if we're looking at the blue as the orientation, that's our front. So that this yellow side, this clockwise is B, and a counterclockwise is B prime. So now that you know all the basic moves, U and U prime, R and R prime, L and L prime, F and F prime, and then lastly B and B prime. Now you know all the basic moves, and I'm going to show you step by step how to solve this cube. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to try and get the white side to be solved, and I want that first row to match up. Now you'll notice I've got these center pieces. So I've got the blue, the orange, the green, and the red. Underneath I've got the yellow. So when I'm solving this white, I'm also going to be thinking about making sure that the white edge piece matches, in this case, with the red, or the white edge piece matches with the blue. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my white cross. I'm going to get my white cross going on here. So what do? Well, I see that this blue right here, this white and blue, needs to go right up above. So what I'm going to do is holding it like this, I'm going to do F, L, where am I? Oh, there I am. B, B, I just did a B. And then I'm going to return my L prime. So I'm going to do L prime there. And then I can just rotate this 180 degrees, and look at that. I now have one of the whites for the cross, and that blue is lined up with the blue. That's what I wanted. So now let's see. Okay, so I see a red right here. And so that red needs to actually go way over on this side. So what am I going to do? Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring it down, and I'm going to rotate the bottom 180 degrees. And then I'm going to rotate my cube, and I want this white to be up top, and it matches the red because that's a white and red right there. So what am I going to do? So here's my little algorithm. It's going to be F, L, where am I? B, L prime, and then that front 180 degrees. So it's F followed by another F. And look at that. I now have two whites, and the edges are matching. So, okay, so now I thought I saw, oh, there, this green and white. So I'm going to rotate that to right here. And this one's really easy. All I have to do is do that front, and I'm just going to do a front and a front, an F followed by another F. And now I've got 3 whites, and now let's find that 4th white. It's going to be a white and an orange. And there it is, right there. Oh, and I'm so lucky. So I'm going to rotate that bottom, so now it's right here. And all I have to do to get this to the top is just rotate that front F followed by another F. And so now I've got that white cross that I'm looking for. So now what I'm going to do is I want to get these corners. And now you'll notice this corner right here is a yellow, orange and a green. So I need a white, orange, and green to go right here. And then what's going to go right in this space? Well, that's going to be white on top, and then it's a green and a red. So that's the corner pieces I'm going to be looking for. So let's see, where is a green and a red? So there's my green and red right here. So I'm going to rotate it, the bottom, so that I can get that to the bottom of where it needs to be. So check this out. So I got the green and the red, there's the green and the red, and that white is going to go right here. All right, so now that it's below where I want it to be, my little algorithm is going to be B prime, R prime, B, R. So there you go. It moved it up. And so now I've got an orange and blue right here. So I'm going to rotate my bottom until I get it underneath where it needs to be. In this case, there's my blue and orange, and it needs to go there. So here's what I'm going to do. I get the opportunity to say it right this time. So I'm going to do B prime, R prime, B, R. And look at that, it's looking good. So now I'm going to look for another white piece. Oh, there's another white piece right here. And so that is a green and an orange. So I need to rotate till I get to where it's supposed to go. So this is directly underneath. It's not facing me right now. So this is going to be a little trickier, but not by much. All right, so here's my algorithm. First thing I need to do is kind of get it out from underneath. So I'm going to do R prime, B prime again, R. All right, so now my green and orange guy is in this bottom layer, and I'm going to rotate him till he's right here. So now as I'm looking at my cube right there, so what am I going to do? Now my algorithm in this case is going to be B, L, B prime, L prime. And there you go. There it is, looking good. And I've got this one missing piece. It's a blue-red. So let's see where, oh, there it is, right there. All right, so blue-red, and it's underneath. So I need to do that first little step of getting it out into the bottom row first. All right, so what am I going to do? So I'm going to do R prime, B prime, B prime, and then R. So now it's out, and I need to rotate it one little spot and then rotate my cube, and that's where I want it to go, right straight up. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do B, L, B prime, L prime. And then all of a sudden I've got all my white pieces solved, and that first row is taken care of. So now I'm going to flip it over. And now my yellow is on top, and that's what I want. But really what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this second row. Now I'm going to get that second row taken care of. So now what I notice, I need to take this orange and green edge piece, and I need to move him over here. So it's kind of a 90-degree rotation to right here. So my algorithm, I've got a specific algorithm for that. It's going to be U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, and then F prime. And look at that. My orange was on top, that orange and green, and now it rotated 90 degrees to where it needs to be. So I've got this blue red. So I'm going to rotate him till I get to the red. So now I'm at the red. But I need that blue red to be rotated 90 degrees to the left. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do that same algorithm. U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. And when I do that, oh, look at that. My red-blue is now where I need it to be. So I've got an orange blue, so let me look for that orange. So there's my orange. Now this time I need to rotate it 90 degrees to the right. All right, so my algorithm is going to be a little bit different. So this time it's going to be U, R, U prime, R prime, U, F prime, U, F. And then all of a sudden that orange got rotated over here. And it looks like, oh, I still have one more. Where is it? Oh, there it is right here. It's that green red. Now I'm not going to do it here because if I rotate it to the left, that the green is going to be on the red side and the red is going to be on the green side. So that's no good. So I'm going to just rotate it. And now I'm here and I'm going to rotate to the 90 degrees to the right. So the algorithm for that is U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, and then F, right there. And now my entire second row, that whole second row is taken care of. So now I get to focus on this very top yellow layer. And what I'm going to be aiming for is a yellow cross. That's all I care about. I don't care if the yellow cross lines up with the center pieces at all. I just want to get a yellow cross of any sort. And so what I'm going to do is orienting my cube any way I want. I could any way I want, but I happen to know this is going to be a productive orientation right here as opposed to this orientation or this orientation. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Nope, I don't have a cross, so I'm going to do it again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and bam, I now have a yellow cross. I have a bonus cube here, but really all I was looking for was that yellow cross. And what I would do is I'm just going to keep doing that F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and I'm just going to keep repeating that over and over and over. And sometimes I might have to find myself starting fresh and reorienting the cube and doing that F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime until eventually, and I just repeat it over and over until I get that cross. All right, so now this is a green, but it's on the red side. So I'm going to rotate it until that green is lined up. Look at that. That's what I wanted. And oh, but I got a blue over here, and I've got a red over here, and I've got an orange over here. So while it's nice that I've got one winner, I've got three losers. So I'm going to kind of rotate this until I see if I can get two winners. And look at that. I just kind of rotated and I got lucky. I have two winners. That blue is a winner and that red is a winner. And then we've got these two losers. And these two losers, these two yellow pieces need to be swapped because the green is with the orange and the orange is with the green. And I want to fix that. So the algorithm that switches these two cubes is R. So remember, I'm holding it here, so I'm looking at that orange as my orientation. And I'm going to do R, U, R prime, U, R, U, U, R prime, U. And look at that. All of a sudden now my orange and green are properly aligned, and my blue is still properly aligned, and my red is properly aligned. And so now I need to take care of these 4 corners, and I'm almost done. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if any of my corners are in the right spot, but perhaps it's the wrong orientation. And I can see, oh, look at this. I've got this corner right here is green, orange, and yellow. So it's in the right spot. It's just oriented wrong. So that's important for me, because now I see that this guy is in the wrong spot. So is this guy. And this last cube right here is in the wrong spot. So I know an algorithm that if this guy is in the right spot, I keep him firmly placed in the upper right-hand corner, and the algorithm will move this cube to here, and then this cube will go here, and this cube will go here. So it'll rotate these 3 cubes counterclockwise. And it looks like, let's see, that's blue, red, that it'll move to here, but that's orange and blue. So and then it would go over here. So I'm going to actually have to do this next algorithm twice, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's the blue red, and it's eventually going to move over here to be the blue orange, right? It's going to move. All right, so let's do that. So it's going to be U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. And now you'll notice this guy is still in the right location, and the blue red used to be here, but it moved over here. And so each of these 3 corner pieces kind of rotated to the next station over. So now I'm going to do that same thing again, because I want this blue red to be over here. I want this red green to be right here, and I want this blue orange to be right there. So I'm going to just do that same. So keeping this guy in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to do that same algorithm. U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. And now all of a sudden all my corners are in the right location, but at this point they're oriented wrong. Okay, so this is really wonderful. So all I have to do is get the guy I want to fix in the upper right hand corner. So right now I need to fix all 4 corners. So it really doesn't matter which corner I put in the upper right hand corner, because they're all broken. They're all in the wrong orientation. So let's look at the green side. Okay, so now look at my thumb. I'm gonna lock it on right here. So my green is going to stay facing me the whole time. It's never going to change. And what I'm going to do is the same algorithm over and over and over, and it's going to fix each of these remaining 4 cubes one at a time. So here's what we do. Starting here, I'm going to do R prime, B prime, R, B. Oh, I don't have a yellow on top, so I'm going to repeat that. R prime, B prime, R, B. And look at that. I now have a yellow where yellow should be. Now, don't worry about the fact that the rest of the cube looks messy. That's okay. So still holding on to the green. Now that I've fixed this cube, it's like an industrial factory line. I'm just going to rotate so that this guy is in the upper right-hand corner. And I'm going to repeat that same algorithm. R prime, B prime, R, B. Nope. R prime, B prime, R, B. And now it's good. So I'm going to rotate the top so that this guy needs to get fixed. All right, and so I'm going to just continue repeating. And notice I'm still holding on to that green. And the rest of my cube is looking messy, but don't worry. So I'm going to do R prime, B prime, R, B, R prime, B prime, R, B, R prime, B prime, R, B, R prime, B prime, R, B. And there it is. I fixed that one. And now I've got this one last cube. So what am I going to do? I'm going to rotate that top, still holding on to the green. And I'm going to repeat that same algorithm. R prime, B prime, R, B, R prime, B prime, R, B, R prime, B prime, R, B. Last time, R prime, B prime, R, B. And look at this. The only thing I have to do is rotate, and I now have a completely solved cube. Woohoo!